Yellowstone Supervolcano, Old Faithful eruption, and Upper Geyser Basin today. We've had 145 earthquakes in the past 28 days. The 4.3 in the caldera area, December 15, and also just outside of the park boundary, again December 15, 3.5. That was the 3.5 at 10.6 mile depth, and the one in the caldera was 3.4 the same day, 2.5 mile depth. And let's take a look and enjoy the geyser eruptions. This is Old Faithful erupting. We have seen some buffaloes grazing in the area and also some tourists. It's been a couple of days since we last saw the Upper Geyser Basin of the Old Faithful geyser. We have slight snow flurries. Well, it's even though we have some light snow, we do have sun, so it's pretty good. We've seen it a lot worse lately because of the winter weather. And as we're watching this, because usually when we see an increase of steam in this area, in a few minutes they will turn it to the Old Faithful geyser, because they expect an eruption there as well. As you can see, there's no one there because it's so cold, it's so high up, it's a very high elevation, it's over 9,000 feet. And water boils at about 97 degrees Celsius instead of 100 because it's so high up. But let's look at some of the details of this Yellowstone Supervolcano at the northwest corner of Wyoming. It also goes into Montana in the northwest, and just west of the park into Idaho as well. Typical eruption style is explosive. This is according to Volcano Discovery. It says here that the Yellowstone volcanic eruptions, one last one was 1,350 BC, plus or minus 200 years. So it was about 3,500 years ago. Caldera forming eruptions, 70,000 years ago, 160,000 years ago, and a super eruption 640,000 years ago. We've had quakes recently, quite big. Some of them were around 3.2 on December 15th. And December 13th, well, you know, they only have a few here, but we'll go into that later. The Yellowstone, one of the largest known supervolcanoes of the world. There's about 20 from what I understand. And from what the geologists have told us, they believe that the biggest magma reservoir of a volcano is under Yellowstone. Of course, I don't know how many other supervolcanoes or volcanoes they've studied as well as Yellowstone, because Yellowstone has its own volcano observatory there as well. But they say that it has the biggest reservoir of magma, and that feeds the magma chamber, which is only 3 miles down from the surface that we see here. 3 miles down, or 5 kilometers down, is the surface. And lately we've had earthquakes which are below 5 kilometer depth or 3 mile depth. And that's a little bit worrying. I'm not a geologist, but to me it means that it's in the area of the magma chamber. So Yellowstone, they say, is one of the largest known volcanoes in the world and the largest volcanic system in North America. The volcano is found above an intraplate hotspot that has been feeding the magma chamber underneath Yellowstone for the last 2 million years. The giant caldera is the product of large-scale collapse of the crust after 3 so-called ultra-Plinian or supervolcano super eruptions. Large explosive events that erupt several hundred, a few thousand of cubic kilometer of magma And these eruptions took place at 1.2 million, 1.3 million years ago, and 640,000 years ago. Yellowstone is also the world's largest hydrothermal system. It contains 182 geysers, mud pools, and fumaroles. The most famous feature in Yellowstone is Old Faithful Geyser, and hopefully we'll see that in a few minutes. It also has in the upper geyser basin, no, this is the upper geyser. The Norris Geyser is the one that has a steamboat geyser, I'm sorry. Steamboat is in the Norris Geyser that has been erupting almost every week since last March. And obviously something has created a change in steamboat erupting that often. Oh, we have other words here. We have other geysers behind the trees as well, as you can see steaming away over there. Okay. Usually when they operate this camera, they do pan into other areas that are steaming. They have another, I think it looks like the Castle Geyser around here. But it's, we used to have others steaming around here at one point in the past, but I don't see any more, I don't see any steaming down here. Unless I'm too blind to see, but no, I don't see any steaming down here. Okay. It doesn't seem to be, okay, oh, it's snowing a lot more now. We have more snow flurries coming down. Okay. And since the 70,000 year explosive eruption, the caldera forming eruptions, 70,000 years ago, they say we've had another 80 eruptions since then. So it contains, we said, 182 geysers, mud pools, fumaroles. The most famous is Old Faithful in this area here. The Upper Geyser Basin, of course, that's it, the Upper Geyser Basin. I made a mistake before. I said Norris. Norris is steamboat. Thank you. Forgive me. Now, the future of supervolcano eruptions at Yellowstone. Yellowstone's magma chamber is believed to be still active, and it contains at least 15,000 cubic kilometers of melt. It cannot be ruled out, according to what I'm reading from Volcano Discovery. It cannot be ruled out nor predicted that there will be another supervolcanic eruption at Yellowstone in some geologic future. In recent years, the caldera has been studied and is being monitored more closely. In recent years, Yellowstone has been showing unrest in the form of deformation, ground uplift, temperature changes, seismic swarms, all of which have been followed with great interest and raising some concern. 70 small earthquake swarms were recorded at Yellowstone volcano between 1983 and 2006. On the other hand, such activity is probably entirely normal for a large dormant supervolcano. Oh, here as well. Okay. They just add a little bit more now? I don't know. When it gets to be a little bit increased, that's when it's about time for Old Faithful to start. That's what I've noticed. Okay. They're not showing us, they're not panning anywhere else, they're just allowing us to, the camera is fixed on this spot. Now, concerning the future of supervolcanic eruptions at Yellowstone, despite the unrest, there is currently no reason to believe that these are precursors to another large super eruption to happen in the near future, years to decades. More likely, these are normal activities in dormant stages of large active volcanic systems. In addition, most of the activity can be related to the hydrothermal systems rather than the magma chamber itself. So it's the water, basically. The changes, deformation, and everything has to do with the water. And they have had past explosive hydrothermal eruptions about 5,300 years ago. That's how Mary Lake was formed. It blew up an area that created a crater that became a lake, and that was due to a hydrothermal explosion. And let's remember the White Island volcano in New Zealand that erupted on Monday, December 9th, was due to a hydrothermal eruption. It was the water that was entering the volcano. The White Island volcano is a little island in the North Island area of New Zealand, and it's a tiny little volcanic island. People were visiting for volcano tourism. It did have earthquake swarms weeks before that. The geologists were keeping an eye on it, and they noticed an increase in the earthquake swarms, the numbers of them. And from what they explained, it was an unforeseen eruption, and it was due to the water that was entering the volcano from the sides, seeping in, and the water became superheated steam, and it had to escape somehow, and it did that by erupting with an explosive eruption. Okay, so we have here this tremendous amount of water that's under there, and that's why we have these geysers. 60% of the world's geysers are here in Yellowstone. 182 from what they say. The future eruptions, despite the unrest, there's no reason to believe these are precursors to another large super eruption to happen. They're talking about super eruptions, of course. They're not talking about normal explosive eruptions. Super eruptions would be devastating. They say that this is more likely normal activities in dormant stages of large active volcanic systems. In addition, most of the activity can be related to the hydrothermal systems rather than the magma chamber itself. Oh, here we go. They changed it now. All right, you see, there's a lot of activity there. Beautiful landscape, of course. Oh, oh, look. Buffalo. Why are they not moving? Is that buffalo or are they stones? They look like buffalo to me, but are they trying to graze in the snow? Poor things. Poor things. I wonder where they go during the wintry season. How do they, yeah, they are buffalo. That one's moving. This one here is moving. I wonder what it's trying to eat. Good luck to them, little beasties. Little beasties. Well, for them to be there, they must be finding something underneath. Now the snow is increasing, as we can see. It looks like. Statistically, they say, even though the interval of time lapsed since the last such super eruption is similar to the intervals separating the last 3 eruptions, statistical likelihood that such an event will repeat itself in the next few 100 years is very low. Unfortunately, most media reports in recent years have been exaggerating the risk greatly. And the background. Yellowstone Plateau developed through three volcanic cycles over 2 million years. That included some of the world's largest known eruptions. The eruption of the 2,450 cubic kilometer Huckleberry Ridge Tuff about 2.1 million years ago created more than 75-kilometer long island park caldera. The second cycle concluded that the eruption of the Mesa Falls Tuff around 1.3 million years ago, forming a 16-kilometer wide Henry's Fork caldera at the west end of the first caldera. Actively, when shifting to the present volcanic Yellowstone Plateau and culminating 640,000 years ago with the eruption of the 1,000 cubic kilometer Lava Creek Tuff and the formation of the present 45 by 85 kilometer caldera. And resurgent doming subsequently occurred at both northeast and southwest sides of the caldera, and voluminous 1,000 cubic kilometers intracaldera rhyolitic lava flows were erupted between 150,000 and 70,000 years ago. So we had eruptions between 150,000 and 70,000 years ago. No magmatic eruptions have occurred since the end of the Ice Age, but large hydrothermal eruptions took place near Yellowstone Lake during the Holocene. 2010 seismic unrest. In January to February 2010, the second largest recorded earthquake swarm was recorded at Yellowstone with over 1,800 tremors, the largest being magnitude 3.8, and felt in the park and surroundings. USGS scientists believe that most of the earthquakes were tectonic in origin, caused by regional extension, while others were caused by geothermal activity. The 2008 unrest. I wonder if they give them any food. I mean, the poor beasties, what do they find all winter? I feel sorry for them. Between 26th and 31st of December 2008, an earthquake swarm with over 250 events occurred under, little beasties. I hope you find nice food to eat. I'm sorry, I'm trying to concentrate on reading for Yellowstone. And I feel so sorry for you little beasties. Oh, I hope you find something nice to munch on. Poor little things. Where are the rest of them? I wonder where they are. Don't they usually eat in herds? They're not lost. I don't think they're lost. Anyway, going back to this. 2008 unrest between 26th and 31st of December 2008. An earthquake swarm with over 250 events. Oh, what's this? Oh, that's another one. That's what, they usually go to that. That one usually starts before they go to the Old Faithful eruption. Yeah, that one is not far from Old Faithful. You even have something from here. Look at this. Something from here. It looks like this is this one as well. Amazing. Whoop, there it goes. Something's trying to come up from here. You can see some steam coming out of it. Yeah. There it goes. It's coming out now. Is that from that, or is it from something behind it? I think it's something behind it. Behind the rim. I guess it's the mouth of the crater that's steaming up. So in 2008 they had 250 events under Yellowstone Lake, 3 to 6 miles southeast of Fishing Bridge. The largest earthquake was magnitude 3.9 on December 27th. 9 earthquake measured between magnitude 3 and 3.9, 24 between 2 and 2.9. Some of the quakes were felt in Yellowstone National Park. And 2003 unrest, changes in North Geyser Basin, that's where we have a Steamboat Geyser. They were observed in 2003, and hiking trails were closed as safety measures. New fumaroles were observed, and some geysers had elevated temperatures. Prominent features at Yellowstone are, we know for its geyser, colorful springs, scenic landscapes. The old faithful area that we're looking at right now include the Upper Geyser Basin, Lower Geyser Basin, Midway Geyser Basin, Lone Star Geyser Basin, Shoshone Geyser Basin, Craig Pass, Isa Lake, and many waterfalls. There we go. Ooh, look at that, look at that. Now it's coming out. There we go, there we go. That's definitely more active now. Yes. That usually acts up before they pan over to Old Faithful. The North Geyser Basin, that area has the hottest geothermal vents at Yellowstone. Features include Roaring Mountain, Gibbon River, Virginia Cascades, and Norris Canyon Blowdown. Then, of course, North Geyser Basin has the Steamboat Geyser, the biggest geyser in the world. Mammoth Hot Springs, travertine terraces created by hot springs flowing up through limestone. Ooh, there's some people there. I can't believe it. Wow, okay. All right, more power to them. I haven't seen people in Yellowstone for days, weeks. Okay. Be careful, you've got some buffalo in the area. Oh my goodness. I don't think they've seen them yet because they're sort of to the, in front of them, in that plateau in front of them. Why are they leaving the area? They should go back because Old Faithful is going to erupt soon. Anyway. You can see that the pathways are covered with snow. I hope it's not icy there. You have to be very careful. Then you have the Madison area. Oh no, Mammoth Hot Springs, we were saying. The travertine terraces by hot springs flowing up through limestone, hydrocarbon ions combined with calcium to precipitate as travertine. Features of the area include Gardner River Canyon, Boiling River, Mount Everett, and Bunsen Peak. The Madison area, interesting features include colorful lake artist paint, pots, Gibbon Falls, Monument Geyser Basin, Madison River, Terrace Springs, Firehole River, Firehole Canyon Drive, and Firehole Falls. And other interesting park features: Yellowstone Lake, Abyss Pool, Fishing Cone, Isa Lake, Heart Lake, Delancey Creek, Factory Hill, Lewis River, Red Mountains, Riddle Lake, Shoshone Lake, Snake River, Mud Volcano, Sulphur Cauldron, Hayden and Pelican Valleys, Natural Bridge, Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone, that's beautiful, Mount Washburn, Tower Fall, and Calcite Springs. The Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. Okay, that's sort of going down now, I think. The eruptions here sort of calming down. And I'm looking at the Yellowstone monitoring now concerning the quakes. And on the 15th, we had a 3.4 in the caldera at a 2.5 mile depth, which was just over the roof of the magma chamber. And this 3.4 of December 15th, local time, basically is just northwest of Yellowstone Lake in the caldera area. We know that the 3 or 4 o'clock position, no, about 4 o'clock position of the caldera has the lake over it. Okay, there we have those are the 2 people that we saw here, right? Or maybe there are 2 other people, I don't know. Where are the, I think the buffalo were somewhere around here. Anyway, they have to be very careful. I mean, who would have thought the buffalo would have been there? It's very, 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 very... Oh, I think there's 2 more people over here. There's 2 more people over here. These 2 people here. Where's the girl with the white ski jacket? I don't think that's them. Anyway, there's 2 people here, 2 people here. Where are they? Somewhere around here. Okay, so they seem to have at least 4 visitors here in this area that we've seen. I don't know where the little beasties are, somewhere down here, I think. I don't know. Our 2 little buffaloes that we saw before trying to eat something, to find something under the snow. Oh, there they are. Okay. One here, one there. Okay. Well, since they're grazing, they must be finding something. Oh, I think the pathways are, do they have any pathways here? I can't remember. I think that's a pathway right there. That right there. So hopefully they won't be bothering the buffalo. Okay, so December 15th we had a 3.4 at 2.5 mile depth. And just outside of the park in Idaho we had a 3.5 again on December 15th, on the same day as the 3.4, but that one was at a 10.6 mile depth. So that's just at the side of the caldera, which is of course inside the magma. That's deeper, as the roof of the magma chamber is 3 miles down. So this one is 10.6. And then we had a 4.2 on the day after, December 16th, just west of Hebgen Lake. Hebgen Lake is, I'm talking about the big earthquakes, is they've had 140, at the screenshot I'm looking at, they had 100 and, how many? Let's see, it's just now loading up the quakes. It's just refreshing the quakes. 306 earthquakes in the past 28 days. 306 in the past 28 days? Okay, this is okay, we're talking about the little ones as well. Okay, it's not just the ones over 2 magnitude. 306. 7 mile depth, 2.4, 7.8 mile depth, 2 magnitude, 7 mile depth. And the GPS, GPS station P458 has inflation, and it's sort of going south. Yeah. And let's take the one that's in the caldera, HVYW. That's going every which way. That's going every which way. That's over, that's just north of the lake. HVWY, GPS monitoring station. Displacement, it's going west and then it's going east. It was going south, and then it went north, and then south, and then north. Now it's going south. And inflation, deflation, inflation, deflation, the past 4 years. So it's breathing. As one of the scientists of Yellowstone who was there from his youth, and he's a professor also now, I think. He used the term that it's breathing. Yellowstone is breathing. It's heaving. It's heaving up and down. 306. I should do another video on that so I can show you. But right now, I wanted to talk to you as we were talking and watching this beautiful footage. We saw some visitors. We saw the two little beasties, our little buffaloes there. And it's sunny enough that we have some nice coloring here. See, some of this is not snow, by the way. This may be snow, okay? This area here, and on the pathways is snow, but a lot of this white stuff is there all year round, and it's the minerals that come out of the water, spray. And this area, as you can see, is warmer. That's why there's no snow collecting on it. Yes, so we have 306 earthquakes in the past 28 days. Volcanic hazards at Yellowstone. Yellowstone Plateau in the northern Rocky Mountain, Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho is centered on a youthful active volcanic system with subterranean magma, that's molten rock, boiling pressurized waters, and a variety of active faults with significant earthquake hazard. Within the next few decades, large and moderate earthquakes and hydrothermal explosions are certain to occur. I'm reading from Yellowstone Volcano Observatory, the section on volcanic hazards at Yellowstone. And they say within the next few decades, large and moderate earthquakes and hydrothermal explosions are certain to occur. Volcanic eruptions are less likely, but are ultimately inevitable in this active volcanic region. Over the past 2.1 million years, Yellowstone volcano has had 3 immense explosive volcanic eruptions that blanketed parts of North America continent with ash and debris, and each of these eruptions created sizable calderas, basins formed by collapse of the ground after evacuation of subsurface magma reservoirs. The Yellowstone caldera, which comprises nearly a third of the land area in the park, formed 640,000 years ago and was followed by dozens of less explosive but large lava flows, the last of which erupted 70,000 years ago. Basin and range extension of the western U.S. has created a series of regional faults that are responsible for large and devastating earthquakes in the Yellowstone region along the Teton and Hebgen Lake faults, most recently a devastating 7.5 earthquake in 1959. That was on August 17. In some areas, USGS says it's magnitude 7.3. Here it says it's 7.5. Yellowstone's famous geothermal waters create fabulous hot springs and geysers, but occasionally explode catastrophically to create hydrothermal explosion craters found throughout the park. A hydrothermal explosion is an explosion that can occur when hot water within the volcano's hydrothermal hot water system flashes steam, breaking rocks and throwing them into the air. This is what happened with the White Island volcano in the North Island of New Zealand on December 9th, Monday, December 9th. That's when water turned to steam and it had to come out, and it broke the rocks and created the explosion. It was a hydrothermal explosion. And of course, the geologist said it was unexpected. Is this another this is another geyser here? I guess it looks like it. It's cone. Oh, oops. Okay. That one again. Steaming. It must be very hot around here because there's hardly any snow, as you can see. Oh, there was some water coming out. What it looked like. I mean, I could imagine if we had a cross section of this, what would be going on underneath? Frightening when you think of it. And when you ask where is this water coming from, you know, they have told us that the magma underneath Yellowstone is basically coming all the way from Baja California. That is a corridor of magma coming from under there. One arm comes from there into Yellowstone, and the other arm goes to the west under Salton Buttes, Coastal Volcanic Field, Long Valley Caldera Supervolcano, all the high-threat volcanoes on the west coast. But it's basically originating from the same source, from Baja California. And what we recently found concerning the quakes in Kansas, Oklahoma, that they're basically in the mid-continental rift area, and that area is having to do with the Keweenan Fault, which is the mid-continental rift, is the Keweenan Fault of the Lake Superior. So Lake Superior is part of the rift, and if you extend the point of Lake Superior into the Midwest of the United States, that's all magma. And the Great Lakes have magma under it, and the point of Lake Superior to the central United States is all magma. And the geologists don't know where that is coming from. They're learning new things all the time, you know, but there's a lot of questions to be answered. Anyway, from what we read, their Superior was closer to Wyoming about 1 billion years ago. It was much closer to Wyoming, and because of a mantle plume there, a magma plume under there, rifting and stretching the earth, pulling it apart, which has stopped. But I don't know if it stopped or not. But it's not going as fast as it was in the past. But Lake Superior was closer to Wyoming, and it stretched out and sort of grew. The United States grew in that area, in the central U.S. And what's happening to Old Faithful? They're not showing that at all. Okay. That's all right. At least we have very good coloring today. It's not that cloudy. I mean, because of the fact that I think we have the sun behind us, it looks like. Let's look at the shadows. There are no shadows. I'm trying to see if the sun were behind us and if it's sort of snowing over there, we could perhaps get a rainbow, but maybe that's too much wishful thinking. I'm trying to figure out where the shadows are on the trees. I don't see any shadows. Anyway. Very grand. I'll leave you a link, and I don't want to get you too bored with this. But, you know, Yellowstone is beautiful to watch when it erupts. If I get it, if I see it, I'll make another video. But in the meantime, I don't want you to get too bored. So I'll end it here, and I'll leave links for you. And thank you for keeping me company. God bless you. Oh, there it goes. Oh, there it goes. It's starting. Here it is. Okay, thank goodness. Oh, we have one person here. Is that one person on his lonesome right there? Trying to observe that. This is the Yellowstone Inn. They have a beautiful hotel there as well. Okay, so that's going to start now, so we'll get that as well. Okay. Old Faithful. And because of the fact, I don't know how windy it is, that I don't see the trees really that windy. You don't know. But it should go pretty high up once it starts full blasting. Wonderful. I don't know what happened to the benches. They had, in the summer, they had benches here for people to sit, to be able to sit to see. Oh, here they, I'm sorry, here they are. They're covered with snow. These are the benches. Okay. I see that they're covered with snow. Okay. Snow flurries. Oops, what happened? Stopped. That happens sometimes. It hasn't erupted yet. It's about to start. There it goes. It's coming. There's more people here. And there seems to be something here as well, steaming away, right here. It doesn't seem to have much power today. There it goes. It's coming. Something's coming now. Okay, it's starting now. Sometimes it takes a few minutes longer. There we go. I remember one of the pieces of information that really shocked me. Yellowstone emits 40,000 tons of carbon dioxide daily. Yellowstone Supervolcano, the park area. 40,000 tons of carbon dioxide daily. That's normal, of course. You know, we have them with whenever we have earthquakes or volcanic eruptions, we have gas emissions as well. It doesn't, Old Faithful doesn't seem to have any power today. Why is that? It looks like one of the other geysers, basically, whereas it usually has a lot of strength. Oh, there we go. And it goes up to here sometimes, up to here. Let's see what happens. Is that it? It's coming out. There we go. Okay, now it's coming. Okay, there we go. But usually you see water sprouting out as well, not just steam, like fountains of water. I'm not impressed today. It seems to be a very weak, this one seems to be a very weak eruption for some reason. It doesn't seem to be too windy either. I mean, you don't see the treetops swaying from the wind. I think it's over already. It's over already, that's it. It was a very weak eruption. I'm sitting here trying to think why. Every other time I've seen the eruption here from Old Faithful, it was nice and strong. And this one is just like basically some of the other ones, the other geysers. I think that's it. I don't think it's going to erupt anymore. Every time I say that, there's a bigger plume coming. It usually has a lot of strength, and you see the water gushing out as well. But here we just have some steam. It's very strange. Oh, it looks like the wind is stirring up some snow. Oh, that's nice. Oh, here we go. No, it's just steam. I'm convinced it's not at all strong today. That's what it looks like to me. I wonder if the buffalo ever come close to the hotel looking for food. Okay, I think that's it. That's it. It's finished. Okay. Okay, that was the Yellowstone eruption today. Very weak, I would say, very weak. So I'll leave links below for you for this. Okay, I think it's basically over. You know, it lasts about 15 minutes, but we should have seen the strong eruption, but we didn't. Okay, so I'll leave links below for you for this. And I wish you all a beautiful Christmas season. Lots of joy and love, health and prosperity, and all the good things in life. God bless you all. Thank you. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.